So I'm going to talk to you about advocating, and I'm going to talk to you about how NCAN can help you on your journey. So as I said earlier, we are in 20 years in service to the NET community. This is not exactly what I had planned in my life. But when I got diagnosed on a Thursday, and the Carcinoid Cancer Foundation at the time was the only foundation around, and they closed at 4 o'clock. And I got diagnosed at 6 o'clock or 5:30 on a Thursday evening. So at the time, the doctor told me I had 5 years to live. And so I went home and I started reading all the stuff on all the stuff on the internet, because Facebook wasn't around then. And, you're reading all this stuff, and it was a lot of outdated statistics. So we became very close with the Carcinoid Cancer Foundation, with Dr. Warner and his wife, Monica. They were my mentors. And once we started learning things, we started the foundation. So NCAN's mission is to grow awareness with the patients, medical professionals, general public, helping patients and family navigate their journey. What I need you to do is, outside there, those net patient pins, net awareness pins, I want you to wear them. Because somebody you never know might see you wearing that pin and say, hey, what's that all about? And you never know if that person that you're talking to has a family member or themselves are dealing with it. So that's how we spread awareness. Don't be afraid to share your story. I know it's not an exciting thing to talk about diarrhea and all that other stuff, but honestly, you never know who you're gonna save. You might just save one life by sharing your story. So how can we help? Like I said, we have the patient hotline. I answer the phone from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 365 days a year. It's Eastern time. Do not call me at 1 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, because it goes directly to my cell phone. Our website is thenetcancerawareness.org. We do the conferences. We encourage you to come to the conferences. We encourage you to go to our website and go onto the YouTube channel to watch the conferences. Afterwards, we have support group meetings. We have 30 chapters across the country. The support group meetings, we also do a virtual support group meeting every second Saturday of the month that is open to anybody across the U.S., okay? We have a speaker come in for the first hour to do question and answers with you. I believe April, what's the date? 8th? April 8th. Dr. Jason Starr from Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida, will be the speaker. So that we encourage you to do that, encourage you to go and find a local chapter. If there isn't one in your area, give us a call. We train you, we give you the information that you can have your meetings, how to deal with people, how to facilitate the meeting, how to get the information. We'll send you the information and everything else. We meet once a year virtual, and then once a year we meet at a group leader will meet at a certain area. This year happens to be Miami in October. We do awareness events. We do walks, virtual walk, in-person walk. If there's some kind of event that you're interested in, you need materials for, give us a call. When I say an event that you want to bring awareness, I'm not talking about something for the American Cancer Society. I'm talking about something for either, to bring to a church or bring to your meetings or whatever. As long as the money is not going out elsewhere, if you're raising money, then it has to come back to NCAN. But if it's not, then we will give you the material as long as you're not selling it. We help advocate for your best care. Why do we do this? It's clear that NET patients need help. And by being our own advocates, we found doctors who knew how to treat us. And these are some of the pioneers in the NET community. I don't know how many people know Dr. Richard Warner. He was the guru of NET cancer. He started the Carcinoid Cancer Foundation back in 1968. Thomas Odorizio is on the right upper corner. We just lost him last year. He was at the University of Iowa. Bill Goh, who was at the in Los Angeles, and then Dr. Jean Waltering, who is in Nolan, in Louisiana. And then, of course, it's Dr. Anthony, who is now at the University of Kentucky. I believe at that time he was still down in New Orleans. And Charlie Nunning is out in Denver, Colorado. So, practical advice on being your own advocate. Network, 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 network. I want everyone that is sitting at a table to take a piece of paper and write the name and number and share it with the people that are sitting next to you. The only way to get through this disease is to network, to get a support system. Family is great, friends are great, but there's nothing like being and able to talk to somebody that actually knows what you're going through. And that's why we find that these events of in-person is very, very important. It was very difficult for me, especially during COVID, to go from being with you all the time to being on a computer and not be able to touch, feel, or speak to you in person. So share your information with the person next to you, so this way you have a new contact and a new person to be in your support system. Keep listening and learning, meaning try to get to a conference once a year. Try to come to our national conference. Our national conference is a 3-day event. We bring in like 30 doctors from across the country to come and speak. They're all-day events like this. We have a lot of fun. We have a reception, a welcome reception, and it's time for you to interact with each other. But more importantly, the doctors that we choose to come to these events sit here and actually talk to you. There is no other disease out there where you will find the dedication the way you will with the NET community, okay? We are a family. I don't know if anybody saw outside our sign by the elevator, and it says, every family has a story, welcome to ours. When we say we are a family, we are a family. No other cancer can have people that are around 22, 25, 30 years, 15 years, 17 years, and still be sitting here. Most of the time, they're either gone or they're in remission and they no longer see the doctor. So know that the people in this room are your family. They are your support system. Use it. Join a support group. Reach out to a NET specialist. Everyone in this room, whether you're diagnosed 6 months or 20 years, should see a NET specialist at least once in their lifetime. It's very important to do that because, unfortunately, some of the sites list doctors and they're not real NET specialists, okay? And we get calls about this all the time, and that's why you never see a NET specialist on NCAN's website. But going to a NET specialist and knowing that the doctor that you're speaking to does 75 to 90% of only NETs, they have a totally different vision than an oncologist that is dealing with 20 other cancers. So try to reach out to a NET specialist because they will help save your life, okay? We have a lot of great oncologists out there that know about NETs, but by seeing a NET specialist, you're gonna get the right treatment. By seeing a doctor, or seeing a surgeon, there's great surgeons around the world, but seeing a surgeon that is a NET specialist and only does NET surgery, it makes a big difference. If you go to an oncologist and they say, oh, surgery is not an option, reach out to a surgeon, somebody that's a NET specialist. They might do the surgery where other surgeons won't. So it's very important that once in your lifetime, you go and get a NET specialist's opinion. You don't have to travel 100 times to them. Go, get their opinion, and keep in touch with them in case later on there's a reason to get in touch with them, okay? For instance, I got diagnosed in 2001. I had my first surgery in 2001. My second surgery wasn't until 2019. So, you know, it can be a long period of time, but most of the time it will come back at some point. So it's important to get that. If you're talking to a doctor and the doctor is not listening to you and you're not getting what you need, say your octreotide isn't working, or whatever the reason is, or they don't want to give you a CAT scan every 6 months, or they don't want to do whatever you think that you need, then leave. Leave the doctor. You have a right as a patient to decide on your medical care. You do not work for the doctor. This gets me so angry. You do not work for the doctor. The doctor works for you. The doctor works for you. You have a right to say, no, I don't want that treatment. No, I don't want this. I want to have a CAT scan. I want to have a PET scan. And I'm going to give you an example. A really good friend of mine had surgery for a long time ago, and then she had a tumor in her chest, and they did radiation on it. And about 6 months later, I said to her, they haven't done any scans on you lately. Are they going to do it? And she's begging the doctor and begging the doctor and begging the doctor. And the doctor's like, you don't need it. You had the radiation. It's all gone. Don't worry about it. P.S. 6 months later, she finally went for her CAT scan. Now it's spread everywhere. Had she gone and got the PET scan when she wanted to, we would have known what was going on. But they chose not to do it. So if you feel that something's not right and the doctor's saying no, you need to find another doctor. Another example is a really good friend of us that's a board member. She had a Whipple procedure from her peanut. Her doctor told her, you're cured. You're cured, you don't need anything. She reached out to me because she started an organization called the Whipple Warriors. And we met, and she came to a meeting, and I said to her, Rhonda, when did you have your last CAT scan? I don't need a CAT scan, I'm cured. Rhonda, when did you have your last CAT scan? I'm cured. I called her monthly. Rhonda, did you go yet? Did you go yet? Did you go yet? No. So finally, she went. And she changed grades. She was originally a grade 2, and she changed to a grade 3. And it was all over her liver. And the place where they wanted to do the surgery, she couldn't do surgery. She ended up having a GABA knife. But this could have all been avoided had she been followed. So if a doctor tells you you're cured, please follow up anyway. It might not come back this year. It might not come back for 10 years, but it might come back. And why wait until it's to the position where you can't do anything about it? So advocate for yourself. When at the holidays, you go to your doctor's office, how many people bring cookies or candy to their doctor's office? Okay? Don't bring them cookies and candy. They don't need the cookies and candy. Okay? I'm being honest. They don't need the cookies and candy because they got hundreds of patients that are bringing cookies and candy. Their staff might like it. What? They don't need it. Their staff may enjoy it, but they don't need it. Have your doctor join NANETS, okay? Ask them, do you go to NANETS meetings? Do you continue to learn about neuroendocrine? If they say no, you say, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, I don't care, Thanksgiving, thank you for being my doctor. Sign them up for NANETS. At least this way, they could get a newsletter, they can get information, they can contact each other to specialists and things like that. So this way you know that they're getting the right education about the disease. So we have a really busy year. We do the monthly mainstream live streams on Saturdays, the second Saturday of every month. We are starting to do meetings in Spanish with Dr. Del Rivera. We have one coming up on April 1st. April 15th, we're going to be in Omaha, Nebraska. We're going to be June 3rd, we're going to be in San Diego, California. In September, we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm really looking forward to that one because it's around the corner from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then in October, we're going to be down in Miami, Florida with Dr. Chauhan. And then anybody that's within 8 hours of driving, We'd love to see you at the Celebration of Life Gala in November. Like I said, this is our 20th anniversary. We never thought we'd still be here. My information, starting this foundation, the reason I am here is because of this foundation. You are the ones that keep me going. You're the reason I get up every morning, is to make sure that this continues on, okay? This doesn't only affect me, it affects our family. My daughter was also diagnosed 10 years ago. And so it's really, really important to me to make sure this continues, not only for our generation, but for the generations to come. And so by doing the gala, it's a great night. We have a great dinner. We have like 110 prizes. It's a Chinese auction where you get to choose which prizes you are. It's a great fun night. So try to come out. It'd be great. Okay, so that's it. So the only thing I'm going to say is that, 20 years ago, how many remember AIM? Does anybody remember AIM? AOL Instant Messenger? Okay. So everybody's like, what, huh? Okay, that's how long we go back. So back then, we had a few small groups that talked among the carcinoid community. And Monica Warner, who was in charge of the Carcinoid Cancer Foundation, somebody had asked about, is there anybody that has a small intestine carcinoid tumor? I'd love to really speak to them and see where they are in their treatment and stuff. And so Monica Warner put my telephone number out on AIM for millions of people to see. And that's kind of like how we started. It was like I literally had to go and get a different telephone number because my family could not get through to me because I was getting all these carcinoid calls. So I never dreamed this would happen. I was an at-home mom. I never dreamed that I'd be traveling around the country as much as I am and getting to work with such amazing people. Again, please make sure you visit all the sponsors. Without them, we couldn't do this. Without the speakers being here and giving up their Saturdays and giving up time with their families to come and be here, it's amazing. So please make sure you thank the doctors, thank the specialists, thank all the sponsors and stuff like that. Try to take everything that you learned here and use it. And we are recording this, and hopefully everything will come out. As registrants, you will get this link to see before anybody else once they're released. So watch in your email about that. Make sure you sign up for our information packet. I don't think, Michael, you put on there about the podcast. We forgot to put that on there. There is a podcast that comes out every other Wednesday. The podcast is either a patient story or a physician. So you can find all that information on the website on our YouTube channel under resources. Okay? So that's all I have to say. Thank you.